are on.
Okay, I'm
Where,
Juliana.
Juliana?
Yes.
Just a second, darling. Let me say welcome to Angora Poets World Cafe, where we present poets and prose writers and performance artists from the four corners of our planet to follow our mission to be truly a world cafe, presenting poets of different styles, different origins, and that's what makes us who we are. And we're going to start soon, and I would like to alert you all that me and Mohammed have put up the Angora Poets website, www.angorapoets.com, where all your pretty faces and your handsome faces, we are mounting one by one photographs of Angora poets past and present. Okay? And you can hear this session tonight on our Angora Poets World Cafe YouTube channel. And you can find us as Angora Poets on Facebook. We are getting out there, people. So welcome on this evening, this afternoon, this nighttime, wherever in the world you may be, to Angora Poets. And I have the pleasure of inviting our first poet on tonight, hailing from the UK, and it's over to you, Juliana Breeze.
No, Juliana Ranikar Breeze.
Well, I stand corrected, darling.
Okay, well, I have a love for Turkey, and I've been several times. I used to go there in the winter, and this in the winter of 2018, I ended up being discovered, and I actually gave 2 public performances, which obviously I'm very proud of, and I published a little booklet.
Oh, nice.
You probably can't see it properly, but anyway, I designed it, and it's in English and Turkish, and it's called Nazar.
Okay, now I have a question. Can you
yes.
also can you read to us both in English
No.
and Turkish?
Turkish is the only language I never cracked. Very hard.
All
Anyway,
right, well then, we're ready for you.
I understand a little bit. So this is a nazar, which is the evil, the eye to protect you against evil. And I actually collect nazar. I also collect hamsa, which is the hand. That's another story. So I've got 6 short poems, and obviously I'm not going to be reading the Turkish translation. The first one, as it's Sunday, it happens to be called A Lazy Summer Sunday. Listening to the constant throbbing beat of world music, sipping Greek mountain tea in Turkey, chai, a nation's identity in a small glass perched on a glass saucer. Should have brought one along, but I didn't. A black and white keddy, that means cat, slinks past, curious, waiting, sitting, wanting, adored by tourists, by parents, by children. Keddy is in his element, loved and stroked in the summer, back on the lonely, empty streets in the winter, hungry unless saved and protected by people who care and donate. Kediler are orphans, like refugees, searching for a home, any home, with love, warmth, and protection. That was written in Kalkan, on the turquoise coast of Turkey. Now, the next one, my favorite color is blue. In fact, it's the same blue of the Nazar, the Mediterranean blue. Actually, in France, it's called Klein blue. Yves Klein went and took out a patent on it. He stole it. Anyway, that was in the 1960s. So this one is called Beyond the Blue. The color of silence, the color of relaxation, the color of pleasure, keif, the color of protection, nazar, bon sejour, the all-seeing eye. Blue is sparkling waters. Blue is shimmering reflection. Blue is the seas, denizler. Blue is the Mediterranean. Blue is the Aegean. Blue is ancient civilizations, the Lycians, the Ottomans. Blue is beyond, into the unknown. Blue is Mavi, from Arabic, mawig, I probably pronounced it wrong. Mavi, Magari, blue is the cave. Blue is the beauty of Turkey. Blue is Turkey. Blue forever and beyond. And I wrote that in cash.
Okay.
Feeling keif. Not quite
right.
sure what keif means. I think it means a happy feeling.
All right. All right,
This
so
one is,
give us three is a charm, Juliana.
what?
We call it give us three is a charm.
Three is a charm. You mean
Your
I can't
third
do any
poem.
more?
No, not for now, honey. You read three now, and then you can come in on the second round.
I may not last that long.
Well, I'm sorry, but we don't read semi-collections. we keep it moving. I know. You'll have to send me a postcard in protest.
Well, could I come in first on the second half then?
If you're here,
Please.
All right, give us your third poem now. Give us your third poem.
It's called Nazar.
Okay.
So, the eye, blue, electric blue, Mediterranean blue, Nazar throughout, Turkey, Greece, Israel, Malta, Cyprus, Persia. Superstition, to protect, to ward off the devil. The eye, seeing danger, jealous evil spirits. Decorative, beautiful, symbolic, powerful, protective, Nazar. And that was written in Olympos, Turkey. Earlier, 2017, that one.
Well, let's give the lady a hand. Come on for blue. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Good words for Turkey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juliana. And now I'd like to move over across the blue Mediterranean over to Algeria, to its capital, Algiers, and welcome on Dalila. Hello, Dalila.
Hello, Mo. How are you, everybody?
Good.
And it's still the Mediterranean blue. It's a poem written by a lady called Anna Grecki. She was a French lady who worked during the war with the Algerian Revolution. And she wrote this beautiful poem called Alger la Blanche. J'habite une ville si candide qu'on l'appelle Alger la Blanche. Ces maisons chaulées sont suspendues en cascades en pain de sucre, en coquilles d'œufs brisés, en lait de lumière solaire, en éblouissante lessive passée au bleu, en plein milieu de tout le bleu, d'une pomme bleue. Je tourne sur moi-même et je bats ce sucre bleu du ciel. Et je bats cette neige bleue du ciel, bâtie sur des îles battues qui furent 1000. Ville audacieuse, ville des marais, ville au large, rapide à l'aventure. On l'appelle El Jazair, comme un navire de la compagnie Charles le Borgne. Thank you.
Let's hear it for some more blue here. Some more blue.
Bleu,
All
bleu,
right.
yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay. And now I would like to move over to Paris. Now we'll move around. We'll jump over the water again here and come to Paris, and we'll ask Mr. Bill Strangmeyer, the judge, if he would like to present.
Okay, Mo. Let's see. It's called American Pop Song. I have a quote from the Boston Globe, somebody called Elisa Eli. My sainted grandmother turned on the television first thing each morning. We would sit at the table in her fragrant kitchen chatting while weeping women vied for a crown, a dishwasher, and the distinction of most miserable life. American Pop Song. Remember that show? I wept last week in the middle of a day, stretched out upon a drawing board for students of some discipline that serves no trade that would pay the rent, because I thought of once upon and how there was a time I felt escaped from all the doubt, a virtual time, a time that ought have been, and of you, O virtual you, in Grecian gown of white. How schoolboys can succumb to luxury, how the discovery of coming, the saccharine of sentiment, sweet TV Christianity and third-rate drama slathered on the screen in black and white from 1953. Sweet, sublimating love. Sweet, sublimating love like Plato felt for boys and prompting us towards conquest, not of fair pale maids, but rather of our dicks. Oh no, I spoilt the mood. My grandma now descends upon me on her broom, accusing me of things I cannot dig. Up from those times there rise the fools who taught me sludge in their school day beaming pride, all singing how we must be true to ill-matched colors, not bandana red, bandana blue. And every day was raise your hand to piss, or else fair ideal maiden sends me shocked and dirty scowl. And either way my dream of schoolboy luxury of body and of soul lies broken, drooling like a possum in the poisoned guilt of roadkill error on the path to best and brightest Tweedy paradise. Will I never have that elderflower taste of intellectual respectability? Those were the days. There was always the search, and it felt like sweat. It felt like a class you were bad in. It felt like being caught. It felt like the girl saying, no, you asshole, of course not, no. But it never ended on a finalizing accent like that. Think quick, Smurge, show how you're in the know. Ah, but the wintertime and snow, pink cheeks to be in love with, and crisp breath to warm with chocolate burn, to think of mommy and first love, forever true like an ideal. Ah, but the autumn's fallen leaves and bitter smell, the smoke that curls around the hopeful air as we bring in the harvest of the idle comfort, summer dreams brought in from the moment all the girls began to get undressed in reaction to the rising flood of spring, licentious spring. Once I was so subject to the turning year, and soon to come the worldwide crisis tragedy. What are they talking about in the air of Golgotha, thickening around the trivial landmass, aflame in my company, those cherubs in nightgowns who call for the progress of mankind towards Godhead? Their voices are echoed in gossip and jibes, in jive talk and goof, and while sharing with members of similarly aimed but still feeble ephemera. Have I ever heard it right? The search has been subtle. That is to say, it's been short on result. It's been long on defeat. Is there really a code, or am I mad? Did Jung just grab the tail of some great snake, or is it just a party game to tease the fools who seek too hard? They've spoken much of helpful hints of things that I should hear, but I catch asides from breezes contradicting all those other words. Is there a code? Is there a code? Answer me then, you heartless witches, abominable snow jobbers, relentless mob. I've a badly singed look, a story of my life and a sinecure in the bibliography of dreams, and you all are there. I have noted every failing and treasure there, and the failures of your faith are on display, like every snickered comment that I couldn't hear. No, nothing forgot, and the road is still clear for the ragmen of memories abandoned in war. We saw the rubies thrown down in the ditches they filled up with nettles as mattresses rude when trudging along became just when trudging became just a burden to pillow our heads, and the color of water was black, or so we swore. How has that memory come back to me now, while others dream easy thinking of food, because it's the seeking I've carried along, derailing my cornerstones as bastions fall. Sorry for the stumbles, but when I get interrupted, it throws me off.
Yeah, well, just one note. Yeah, that was a good poem. Hey, that was a good poem. That sounded like poetry anthropology. You just, I'd have to take a class to study that sucker. All right, so we're all going to mute ourselves. Juliana, mute yourself, darling. Mute.
How do I do that?
Oh, okay, then just be quiet, darling.
I didn't say a word.
I know, but we mute, so that we don't interfere with someone's
Just
judgment.
press on the button on the top, on the bottom of your screen. There is a audio, and you mute it. It's very simple, you know.
I don't know what to touch. Oh,
okay,
wait.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just carry on, because you'll be silent, and the rest of us will mute, and we'll ask Bill.
Say a word, honest.
I stand corrected. Excuse me. Okay. Now we're going to carry on with Bill here in his second poem, please.
Okay. Stiff the Beggar. This is an old one. When I've become one of the old men with stubbled, unshaven gray and surely funny, we all may smell of a bitter or rancorous life, of a sin that was never redeemed, of a fear not laid to rest. See how their rusted razors break, their acrid whiskers slice, bled buff and biscuit, pink and gray, as weapons their day is done. And some may stink of a lack, fear, paralysis, boredom, and booze and lack. But lean they are, so lean, their twitches, their stance rigorous, their minds rubbery, not quite hard, and thoughts like an acid fog. They make driftwood a totem and lead no lives, or else plumbous ones. Sing, sing, you the men there, sing of girls and rules.
Right. Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, do you have a third one? Do you have three? Three's a charm, Mr. Bill?
Yeah, well, because the first one was long, I have a short one for the third one.
All right. We can go with that.
Call it Television. I want it to last forever, and I want this taste of sugar, honey on my tongue and lips that tremble. Want the laugh and want the lightness, want the breeze that floats like doubt and fiction in this stream. And the stream flows from a source in my country where I live and where I know no passion for revenge. The smallness doesn't bother me. It's just the jolt of seeing I like its vacuum, hollow sound, and tin array. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Isabel. Are you talking about? Yeah.
I'm trying to talk, but my mute button didn't want to mute, so now it is. It's unmuted. Anyway, yeah, I have limited storage capacity. All right, here we go. Thank you, Bill. That was good stuff. Thank you very, very much. And now I would, by the way, Bill, when are you coming out with your next chapbook?
I don't know. I've been involved with an art book.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm wondering about that now.
You're due for one, given what you've read for us over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Good enough for now. So now we have an interesting performance presentation coming up next out of London. We're very glad and rather proud as adults to be presenting a young child performer so that we can pass this on to the younger generation, which is oh so important. So, okay, so out of London, we have Pom and her daughter. His name is Cosmic. Your name is Cosmic, right?
Yes.
Can't hear you. Gotta hear you.
This one. Can we hear you?
Vaguely.
Vaguely. I'll stand up.
Come close to the microphone, Cosmic. Okay, talk to us. Say hello.
Hello.
Say hello again.
Hello.
Say hello, hello.
Hello.
Say hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Now we hear your sweet little voice. Okay, so we're ready when you're ready. And give us a little, what are you preparing to do, please? Give us a brief explanation.
I'm preparing to do a poem about Earth and how it is now. And I'm doing it with some of the one gong, or two, and some.
Mo, I can see, I can see you, I
Okay.
can see her in the middle.
The gongs and the chimes are related. They're a bit related to the poem, like some of the words that it's related to the poem.
But Mo, we see you. We don't see the girl.
Speak louder, maybe. Is it?
Can you
Mo,
hear?
I can't see myself. I need to see myself.
Oh, okay. Good. All right.
Okay, I'll ask. Is mine the only face showing on screen?
Yeah.
No.
we see you. We don't see the.
You and Isabel and Juliana.
Oh, that's
But we saw her briefly. We saw
okay.
her
Now hold on.
briefly.
Oh, all right, hold on. Let's get to Mo here because that's not my doing. Mo, are you here? Oh, he's not in the room. Hello, Mo, are you in? Because this is not my doing to have.
Mo, I think that if everybody but Cosmic mutes, we'll be able to see her.
Okay, let's all try that. Everybody mutes.
Try to talk.
I can see her perfectly well.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. And I think now we can see you. So we're ready when you are.
Okay. I'd rather Earth. Flowers are opening while the shops are shut. The skies are clear, but all I feel and hear is fear. What is near? Is it fear? Is it a tear? There's only one pair that I cannot spare, that is the attendance of all mankind. Of such I dream of my world, a tear can just turn to a pearl, and right next is the earth's torn paths, where we can change it to a lawn or something more like love. I sew and knit a broken path, and earth's heart and others, but there's one that I vow that now is in care, but it's rather earth. I'd rather earth by Harvest. Cosmic. Thank you.
Now, okay. All right. That was pretty good. We could do with a little more volume from your chimes or your gongs. And I think your mom said you have another couple minutes you could do. Would that be right, Palm?
Yeah.
Why don't you carry on and give us a couple minutes more, please?
Yeah.
But Mo, we don't have the picture of the girl. We have your picture.
Right click on her picture on top and pin it.
Yeah, we have just a little picture of the girl.
Right click on that little picture and pin it.
You see, Isabel, some people have trouble operating the Zoom, and you're having a little bit of trouble. So just, we'll all work through this. Okay, we'll all work through this. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, Bill. Pinned her so I could see her directly. Bam.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Of such I dream of my world.
Okay. Now we need, Cosmic, we need you to speak into the microphone.
Of such I dream of my world. A tear can just turn to a pearl, and right next is the earth's torn paths, while we can change it to a lawn or something more like love. I sew and knit a broken path, earth's heart and others, but there's one that I vow that now is in care, but it's rather earth. What is near? Is it fear? Is it a tear? There's only one pair that I cannot spare, that is the attendance of all mankind. Flowers are opening while the shops are shut. The skies are clear, but all I feel and hear is fear. I'd rather earth. Of such I dream of my world.
Okay, that was wonderful. Give her a hand. All right, that was wonderful. Thank you. That was very good.
In 10 years, we'll be able to say
Lovely.
we knew her when.
Yes,
Thank you, everyone. Jeez.
That was lovely.
yes.
Amazing performance art. Thank you.
Okay.
Marvelous harvest. I'm very proud of you.
So, well, you're invited. You're invited to come back in our second round, okay, this evening, and of course in the future, because that's what we need. We need some young voices to join us. So we're going to say thank you for now and invite you to come back for later. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I'd
All
love
right.
to do that this evening.
How old are you?
8 years old and
That's a good age to. Geez, my last poem was 8 years ago. Jesus. Okay.
I'll type it on.
You can send
And
it.
I'll put it on chat.
Okay. All righty. And you know you're recorded. Ask your mother to explain. We're on Angora Poets YouTube channel. So now you are part of it. Okay, so I'm going to move on now to you and your mother and the other man that's helping along there, and move on. And I want to say hello to a man who's showing his name as Poulenay. Hello, Poulenay.
Hi.
You're there. Okay,
hi.
so I'd like to ask, where in the world are you at this moment?
I'm from suburbs of Paris.
Oh, okay.
And, I heard about Angora from Caroline, from Otto.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Those are our members in the Fédération des Poètes in Paris. Welcome on board. Are you going to present poetry tonight?
I may.
I hope so. You're certainly invited to do that.
And
okay.
If possible, is it possible to do it in Polish?
In Polish, it is recommended to do it in another language. Okay? Okay. I'll explain that before I call you on. We encourage people to read in other languages besides English and French. Okay? You're in a good place tonight. Welcome. All right. Thank you. So now I'd like to welcome from where is he from? Rockford? Are we calling Rockford, Illinois? And a potential poet laureate who has been essentially like campaigning night and day during Black Lives Matter with poetry that matters and commentary that matters and on the scene recording of demonstrations. So hello, Christopher Sims. Welcome.
Hello, Mo Seeger. Thanks, sir. Yeah, representing Rockford, Illinois, the second largest city in Illinois, Northern Illinois. Yeah. And not only do I do spoken word, I'm an activist. So if I'm not here scribing or talking with my family or thinking about new ideas, I'm on the ground, boots on the ground as an activist and inspired and encouraged by the young people. So I've been in the mood to dive back into my earlier poems, especially my performance poems that have influenced a lot of my work. So this is Word Warrior. And there was a movie back in New York called Warriors. So in one of the scenes, the guy says, "Warriors, come out and play. I am a word warrior, sorcerer of sonic sounds, infinitely bound to the beauty of the universe, which I bring to life through verse. I'm a word warrior. I'm at harmony with the rhythm within. Once I meditate heavily, my diction becomes medicine. Once I focus and then begin, the universe becomes a sacredness that seeps from my pen. I transcend rhyme with reason and time to climb the divine, and at the same time, I discover the sun's shine, creating a revolution of thought, line after line after line after line after line. Word warrior, traveling the unravel of our infinite galaxy. With tenacity, I display grammatical mastery. My capacity to defy verbal gravity is just a gift naturally. Words, weapons, wisdom, grammar, vernacular, diction, language, dialogue, conversation, lyrics versus poetical demonstrations. I swim inside the softness of syllables to become liquidly lyrical. My thought process is rhythmical. When did this one individual miracles take place? I embrace the intelligence and elegance of the universe. Out of me is beauty bursts. Word warrior, creating cosmic dialect not yet found. I'm connected to beauty, to passion, to fire. I am rhyme and reason. It is beyond desire. Word warrior. And that's that poem. Thanks, Mo. I see you clapping there, man. Can't hear you,
Go on.
Mo.
Okay. Well, you can hear me now, and I'm saying, come on, more. Come on with another one, word warrior.
Okay. Yeah, let me find some of my more political pieces that I've been scribing, writing, pretty much since this whole pandemic. If you've never really heard a personal story about a Black person's experience in the United States when it comes to the police, here's one for you. It's called Racial Profiling and Terrorism in Loves Park, Illinois. Loves Park is just a city north of where I'm from. It's pretty much the same, almost the same town. We would drive through Loves Park at dark. Police would be parked on the side of the road, waiting for us young Black people to leave, to head south back home. There was a constant taking place every week. The boys in blue would greet us with police lights. It was a fight all the time as we sought to enjoy being together, dancing, romancing the night air, but they never cared. They just stared down our license plates to single us out. They singled us out. Without a doubt, they were profiling us, organizing their forces against us, waiting to nail, then jail us. Never was it ever discussed that we were being profiled. The police were being hostile, that we were being terrorized. Multiple times our rights were denied. Our patience, our very existence was tried. The most ironic thing is that Loves Park's motto is a city with a heart. Back then, they turned racism, profiling into an art. We needed the NAACP back then, myself and my associates and friends who had encounters with the Loves Park Police Department again and again and again and again and again and again, and it's still carrying on to this day. Cruising through there with my twin brother after all these years, recently, these terrorizing memories come back to haunt us immediately. Repeatedly, we revisit those times that are abusive, stressful to the mind. Someday, sometime, here a revolution will be sparked, and we all will be freed from those detrimental experiences we had in Loves Park. And that's that poem.
Thank you. Thank you for that, for letting me see through your mind and experience through your mind and your words. It's really necessary, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a testimonial. It's a testimonial. A poem as testimonial. So do you have, Christopher, do you have a 3 is a charm for us?
I do. Thanks for asking, Mo. And yeah, that poem is only one of many experiences I've either myself or my friends here in the city have had with the police. And it's a constant. And we seem to never get away from them following us, them seeking us out. I mean, it's ridiculous. You get tired of it. That's why I'll be a Black man in Paris one day.
Welcome.
This is, oh, thanks. This is entitled Of African Mud and Love. This is one of my latest pieces. My great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was a Nigerian with Cameroon blood. I am a displaced African, born of mud and love. I suppose my ancestors knew the movement of the stars, that one day this land, the United States of America, would be ours. But first, we would endure scars, lynchings, and prison bars. My African blood boils, but when I touch a leaf or the earth's soil, I know I am Grand Royal, loyal to Black liberation. And that's that piece. Thanks, Mo.
Thank you. And just as one anecdote, there are some movements California is finally, I think it's California, has outlawed private prisons because that's a whole topic of its own, but private prisons make money for every individual who is incarcerated. And so they've got the compliance of judges. They've paid off judges to render very severe prison sentences on people to fill up these prisons, and everybody's making money on it. And the majority of the inmates are young Black males.
Yeah, and one more thing about that too. When you are on the government's papers, when you wind up in prison here, you're a slave all over again. They have papers on you. So
yeah.
Slavery still exists in the United States, whether folks understand or not.
Yeah. Well, in fact, for some years now, prison inmates have been doing the work that was previously done in poor countries, which is to say they're using prison inmates now not to break rocks and carry chains, but to assemble Apple computers and smartphones in the prison for, was it 15 cents or 25 cents an hour? And then those products are distributed by Apple for the prices that we pay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, bloom. So I would like to call up next, come over to Paris and call on Isabel Lorien. Are you there, Isabel? Hello, Isabel.
Hey, I'm not in Paris, Mo. I am in the south of France, in a little village.
Okay.
Between the étangs de Thau. Okay. So I wrote a little poem just before the show. By a golden meadow, a donkey stands in the distance. Over his back, a white bird stays still. Behind them, the moon rises and enshrouds their figures. I walk on a white path lined with black pebbles. I hear my horse neighing. He is calling me from the other side of the river. We take this long bridge that joins the horizon line. He carries me as if I was as light as a feather. Suddenly, the thunder hammers a warrior's song. He neighs again and starts to canter under the flashes of a diluvian rain. He dances among a stroke of dazzling lightning. Fire and water fall from the sky as curtains of steel and glass were hidden to human eyes. We disappear from the landscape. Then the silence, then a long silence, then a chapel of silence, then a screed of silence. We break through the line of time. We travel in non-binary universes. Forever, my horse and I. Me on the top of him supporting me. Me as light as a feather, as white as a dream. Him as fast as the thunder, as fast as the light. We gallop on a one-way road. Around us, anthracite planets revolve in endless circles. There is not a single sound, and the light fades to a grey line. I understand that we'll never stop. I understand that we will never return. My horse is reckless. His gallop pierces space. The bottom is at the top of strange hills that spring and vanish under the pounding of his hoofs. Solitude is a blessing. The stars are our home. The dark stars that accompany our journey with infinite compassion and gentleness. My memory is blank. Past, present, and future are one point that dances and reflects the thoughts of an endless day of summer. This is the summer of birth. Silence is so thick that it covers the walls of the soul. A heavy mute whining escapes from behind, below, behind. It is the story of the universe. The mane of my horse is bright with the black dust of the stars. My hair is electrified. My face is white. My face is round as the moon. The robe of my horse is white. It's fluffy as the clouds. By the silver meadows of space, we purchase our destiny.
And that was pretty.
Well done! Bravo!
The black dust of the stars. That's interesting. The black dust of the stars. Okay. And my face is white as the moon. That was nice. That's a nice color. Okay, thank you, Isabelle Lorion. And now, since we encourage people to read in languages other than English and French, I would like our friend here, Pauline, to come on, who says he wants to read in Polish.
Then, firstly, thanks to all the greetings and welcoming. So, it's may I have to present it a little bit or just the text? I don't know how you...
If you'll give us a brief explanation about the nature of your poem, yes.
The text is called like, how to say in English? When you own a terrain, you have something at the mayor thing, like administrative thing, it's called what you can own, what you pay for it.
The deed.
You own.
In English, it would be the deed to the property.
Yes, exactly. So, kadaster. Jechać daleko od kości słoniowej. Nie chcę być aktorem agresji systematycznej. Skrócę przez kolejne terytoria bez targania. Będę ludzkim uczniem mojego grania. Frajerem dla władców to zaszczyt. Regałem dla ustawy nicości to zaszczyt. Obudzenie takie, aby bydle odległości chcić. Kierować się własnym okiem, go kusić. Otworzy się sam, drugi jesie do opracowania. Nad skórą której trzeba oszukać wedle sumienia. Ta, co niszczy możliwości, co niepełna jest. Karam tą część mojej krainy, mojej Everest. Kiedyś dostanę się na wzgórzu chęci, tej najwyższej, tej nieprzejrzystej ludzkości. Nie istnieje prawda tak zwanego kadastra. Ponieważ szanowanie to ani się waż, bo plan podróży to tylko jadowity wąż. Idę zapalić fajkę z teraźniejszym dzieckiem. Nie istnieje prawda tak zwanego kadastra. Kręcić wokół betonowych zmysłów, jak to znieść, zniszczyć, znaleźć co poniósł. Ten człowiek nowej ery, nowej rzadkości. Dostaną i tak z niego tylko kości, więc wbrew pozorom być beztroski. Wobec gry każdego, kto lata bez kredki, gonić za nimi, stworzyć następną książkę. O mitach tych, którzy w tlen, w akustykę, niczego nie oddechali, nie usłyszeli. Tacy bohaterowie różnicy się nie bali. Tacy nie zapłacili, co spytały się kasy. Nikt nie mógł podążać z takiej awansy, ale kiedyż powstanie zabawka dla dziecka. Weźmiemy ją i będzie taniec wilka. Nie istnieje prawda tak zwanego kadastra. Ponieważ szanowanie to ani się waż, bo plan podróży to tylko jadowity wąż. Idę zapalić fajkę z teraźniejszym dzieckiem. Nie istnieje prawda tak zwanego kadastra. Przeciwstawienie do postępu technologii, raczej polepszenie węzeł mi się goi. Obejrzenie się ku uśmiechom, słuchszy o kwiatach. Wszystko się burzy w terrorze snach. Zaczynam pachnąc dotykiem. Zanim będzie deszcz, szukać patykiem. Tą wodę nieśmiertelności z bydlakami. Iść cały czas utonąć się innymi obrazami, które by naszych nos przekraczały. I aby nigdy przenigdy powracało do cały. Zmuszę do pełnych warunków nic oddać. Jest moje, co nie da się w uczuciach złapać. Dar otwarcia kwadrata. Czekaj, już jest kwadrans. Kółko w trójkąt, punkt widzenia popada w czadowy trans. Nie istnieje prawda tak zwanego kadastra. Ponieważ szanowanie to ani się waż, bo plan podróży to tylko jadowity wąż. Idę zapalić fajkę z teraźniejszym dzieckiem. Nie istnieje prawda tak zwanego kadastra.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. That was well spoken. I didn't understand more than a few words, but that was well spoken. Do you have another one for us?
And also in Polish?
Yes, you can do Polish or French or English. It's your call.
It's rare I can like, speak in Polish for my text, so I may use it.
We welcome it.
Thanks. So it's roją się w myślach terytoria nieznane. Kawał nóg chciałby pogorszyć wyznanie. Karalny idiom, druga część się pyta, czy czas już zaszedł i wtedy poczyta te litery niezapominalnej wiedzy i wtedy nauczy się parafrazy, absolutnie szerokiego przekonania, szczerze być wolontariuszem zgubienia. Nie ma pewności, nie ma arcydzieł. Od początku zaczynać, powstrzymać ten orzeł, aby nie próbował latać za daleko. Cegła jeszcze nie gotowa, miecz, gotowe oko, aż kręgosłup się wyprostuje razem z krzykiem. Chwilę przerwy, zanim zawalczę z piaskiem. Żądam panowania z czasem, który na mnie nie czeka. Przykrość i żal kręcą za blokadą. Lokalne legiony boją się miną bladą. Za późno. Wróg ciągle do przodu klika. Żądam panowania nad czasem, który na mnie nie czeka. Śruba dotyka fundacji nowego zegara. Buduje tak, iż nawet bogowie nie znają astra. Gdzie sekunda to minuta, a minuta lata. Minie mnie ciągle orzeł, pędzi meta. Ona nie przestaje do przodu chodzić, a ja mam się z tymi ziemskimi drogami odchodzić? Pogłaskać pola bawełny to chciałbym, ale jestem zapakowany w mieście dym. Fabryki i przedsiębiorstwa, praca i rutyna. Nic nie widać, a ja chcę wypalić opona. Niech przyjdzie smród i zniknie w popiół. Ten kurz jest dziedzictwem tych sokół, które nas pożyczały wszystko, co oni sami dostali. A oni tak śrubą pociągową niczego nie zdawali. Żądam panowania nad czasem, który na mnie czeka. O przykrość i żal kręcą za blokadą. Lokalne legiony boją się miną bladą. Za późno. Wróg ciągle do przodu klika. Je i piję według upłynięcia dnia. Płacę i wypełniam kratki według zlitowania, a wola inna jest, skoro plan nie działa, skoro bieda uśmierzenia jest i była. To niech zniszczę ściany, sufity, drzwi, przejdę przez wały na skrzydłach orłej krwi. Padnie deszcz życia, dreszcze się nie odezwą. Panika, kiedy zmienimy kierunek antystrofą, żeby już nigdy do tyłu nie obejrzeć. Zawsze w górę spaść, niejasna rzecz. Powiedzmy, że to papieros, którego się nie wyrzuca. Więcej materiału zgasić brak heca. Lustro wyświetla w środku imprezy. Widzę w przyszłości, nie ma krawędzi dla łzy. Żądam panowania nad czasem, który na mnie nie czeka. Przykrość i żal kręcą za blokadą. Żądam panowania nad czasem, który na mnie nie czeka. Dziękuję.
Bueno, merci, thank you. Tell me, you live in Paris, yes?
Yeah, I'm like near from Paris. Yep.
And were you born in Poland?
No.
So you learned the language from your parents?
Yep. My mother, and I went also to school, so I have both end of high school diploma. I don't know how to say.
Yeah, lycée?
Yeah, like both baccalaureate, maybe, you know. But...
Oh, good for you. And are you also writing in French?
Yeah, usually I do it on slam poetry scenes in France, so it's in French usually.
Oh, very good. Very good, bravo. So stay with us and come into the second round and choose a language again, Polish or French. It's all good with us. And we welcome you. Thank you. This is only the second time in Angora history in 3 years that we have heard a poem rendered in Polish. So it was a pleasure to listen to you. And you read very, very well. You read very well. Okay. I would like to welcome someone who's on screen now, Penny Theme. Hello, Penny. Are you there? Miss Penny Theme.
Hello. It's Theme.
Hello. Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm having a little bit of difficulty. I'm going to try my video. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Hey,
Now,
hi.
how you doing? So where in the world are you at today?
I am in the United States.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I'm in Kansas City, on the Kansas side.
Okay.
I'm not going to be reading today. I'm actually painting, but I just tuned in to for some inspiration and to support everyone and to hear the beautiful poetry.
Okay, well, let me add that we have had some people show their painting work, their drawing work, right on screen here, and we have a look at it.
Well,
so if you,
I will do that next time, I promise.
okay. And I also want to say it's good to have another person here from KC, and you're on the other side of the bridge in KC, Kansas. All right, good for you. We've had some, and by the way, one of your Kansas City Mo on the other side has just released a new album, and he's a trumpet player, a jazz trumpet player, and his name is Herman Mahori, and he moved to Paris, and he just released his latest album, and he's one of your hometown sons. Okay.
All right.
Very popular. He's very popular in Paris.
Penny is here because I shared the link on an open mic that she attended, as well as some other folks in Kansas City. Yeah, I was pretty much the only Illinois dude, but they're fun people, great open mic.
Good. We're enjoying that. Okay, well, stay with us, Penny Theme, and let's see who we can call up next. Well, shall we have some love and love lost time? I'm guessing it's time for the poet who writes so eloquently and passionately about love and love lost. And so that would be our Paris resident from New York City and co-editor of Poets Wear Prada, and his name is Jack Cooper. Hello, Jack.
Hello, Mo. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Love lost, you say? Let me see if I've got something about that. Actually, I wanted to read this, which is called, let me clear my throat, Birthday Blue. The sunlit blue breaks through, beyond the Mary, beneath the clouds, so bright, one wonders what might be some secret illumination makes this joy lift off and float above the earth. Until then, dour and inhospitable to thought, to lose bearing of what it means to be alive. I walk in its direction, up the avenue, long submerged in a darkened pool, flooded by regret. The dim promontory overshadowing that points toward death, and now a light.
Okay, I like that poem a lot. And what do you mean by shadowed by death and now the light?
No, now a light, the verb.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, so
thank you.
You want to follow that?
Yeah, those coughs, I think, nicely punctuated the theme.
Yeah, you were talking about death and Juliana was coughing.
Yeah, that was very nice.
I wasn't coughing.
Now, Juliana, tell the truth and shame the devil. Come on now. Now, we heard you.
Cough.
Now, lady, we heard you.
We heard you.
You know what? We hand out cookies after the reading. No coffee, no cookies. Okay, let's hit it back over to Jack Cooper again, please, Jack.
Okay, Continuing on the theme, this is called Youth. And it has a motto, I guess you might call it, like yesterday, if I could only remember it. A wheat field articulate with summer light and breeze. Another of poppies, skirts lifted over their heads, part flirtation of the wind, part can, part innocent. Grass down which to roll as far as I like. A boat, though empty, still swerves beyond my ken. Her silhouette, framed by the town, nocturne, sand, the startled look of her surrendered love. Caravansary of music with all my friends. Life without restraint. The content and precinct of a dream in which the world was kind.
Yeah. So good when the world is kind.
You bet. You bet.
Cherish
So,
those.
all right. So,
do you have three as a charm for us, Mr. Jack?
I do, in fact. I'm taking a brief pause on love and regret, although there was some in that last. This is called June Burial. It's a title's a play on urn burial from the Anatomy of Melancholy. The Ides of Junio find me reading, of all things, Robert Lowell. The day is quite beautiful and cool. This pencil, much too dark. Slept well, refreshed. The refrigerator is at last defrosted. I don't know what moved me to remove Robert L. from the shelf. I won't quibble. I've made my peace with his equivocal hell. His sad tale strikes me now as having been not spiritually diseased, but tragically corporeal. A hulking man whose heart in a bowl had overbrimmed and was far too hot.
All right, that was hot. That was hot. All right. And you know, he had such great students, huh? Robert Lowell.
Oh, yeah.
He mentored some great future.
Sylvia Plath,
Anne
Sexton, I believe.
My favorite woman poet is not Sylvia Plath, but Anne Sexton.
Yes, and she studied with him as well. Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She's deep. Well, thank you, Jack.
Yeah.
Hang in there. And let me say hi to Prince McNally is on board with us. Hello, Prince. Are you there? Hello, Prince. Are you there?
Emo, how's it going, everybody?
Hi, how you doing? Good to hear from Brooklyn,
good.
New York.
Having some issues. I don't know what's going on with my audio, but my video, but I got audio, so we can do this.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, now that you're locked in with audio, and by the way, Ron, I see you, Ron Bremer, and you're coming up as well soon. So I want to welcome you as well, Mr. Ron Bremer. And your lovely companion, oh, she'll read tonight also. Oof. Okay, anyway, let's go back to our resident Brooklyn poet, Prince A. McNally. Over to you, Prince.
Thank you, sir. Let's see. Let's see what if I can get close to the thing. This piece is called Serenity Song. I wrote this piece about 20 years ago. This was the first piece that kind of put me on the map as a poet. When I think of you, I see aqua blue bodies of water bathing in the luminous rays of sunshine. And when I'm with you, I feel the warmth of the sun embraced by the taste of silky honeydew horizons. When you came into my life, I was nothing more than an empty soul diminished from drive-by love affairs. My heartbeats were on empty, and yet by some miracle you've managed to deliver me 1,000,000 miles into serenity. It's so hard to believe we once dwelt as two separate beings on opposite sides of the universe, drawn together by magnetic force, creating one whole. And if for some inexplicable reason we were ever to lose each other, I would pray to God for the senses of the angels, whereby I could find you by the light of your soul. And if you were unable to hear or understand my words, I would communicate with you in subtitles of mathematical equations, feeding you with pi, which equals why I love you more than life itself. To me, you are the epitome of serendipity. For every grain of sand in the universe, I love you to the 10th power. And I savor every delicious thought of you by the milliseconds of every hour. For you have taught me to wake up and open my eyes, to see the sunrise and to stop and watch the sunset, so as not to forget to say goodbye, my friend. Hope to see you again. You are the core of my bliss, for you have catapulted me to the highest mountain for which I shall love you forever and ever and ever and everest. For you I defy the laws of gravity, for I shall never come down from the high of this love of which you bestowed upon me. As I place my ears to the well of an empty seashell, I can hear the whispers of the ocean's fading memories calling out to me, serenading me in 3D with your song of serenity. For you have made contact with my lens and opened my mental eyes to see the reality of love in 2020 vision. For the first time in a long time, I can see clearly now. The rain has gone, the sun evaporates my rainy days, and as I bask in its luminous rays, I submit to the light's eager persistence, bidding farewell to a nocturnal existence. And as I shed the skin from whence I took asylum, my fountain of joy has overrun, fertilizing the earth's soil with tears of gladness, thus creating muddy waters which flow through the distant reservoirs of your soul. Washing your blues away, I offer you this gift of chocolate, melanin, a gift from the God in me. For I have received the fondest gift of all, gifts of all from you, my love, the song of serenity.
Okay, all right, yes. I have a question, Prince. Let me ask a naive question. That poem was directed at a particular woman?
Yes, it was.
And gotta ask, since you wrote that 20 years ago, do you know where in the world is that woman today?
No.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Let me clarify. It wasn't directed at someone in particular. I just put it out there in the universe. That was a love I aspired to have.
Mm. Okay. I feel you. Okay.
What
Do you
was
have
that
another?
equation?
Yes.
Hey, Prince, what was that equation? X
I'm
equals
sorry.
which?
Pi equals y. I love you more than life itself.
Okay, nice, very nice.
To the 10th power, no?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Okay, Prince, do you have another one for us?
Oh, sure. This one's called My Dear Past Love. My dear past love, if we are to remain estranged, this I fully understand. But if your loathing somehow still prevails over the winds of forgiveness and compassion, I shall surely pray for you. And if it is your wish that I should feel the wrath of your scorn, the rains of your storm for the next 1,000 years, I will endure this suffering with great sorrow and yet a heart filled with gratitude. For you have given me far more than you could ever take away. If it's and that was dedicated to my ex-wife.
And how does your ex-wife feel about it today? I guess she like
Well,
that.
she doesn't know it even exists. I'm going to put it in. It's going to be in a book at some point,
Okay.
and so
Okay.
I guess she'll get it then.
All right.
But that was more or less like a dedication to her for the gift of my children.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, real good. Okay, do you have a threes of charm for us?
Here's the threes of charm. I want to end it on, and go out on a sort of jazz note.
Yeah.
This piece called The Sweet Lips of Jazz. She had the sweetest pair of lips soft to the kiss like silky smooth riffs of vintage jazz music flowing freely through the smoke-filled air of southern speakeasies. A place to have a drink and take it easy after a long day's work, allowing the music to speak freely of our days, slowly massaging our pain away. Each note a subtitle, a subtext, a sign of the time spoken in sign language, coolly conveying our stories to the masses because they want to hear our stories. They want to feel our blues, pouring from the lips of our souls into ice cube glasses like a vintage bottle of wine begging to be tasted. Until you've been kissed by the sweet lips of jazz, you will never know how it feels to make love to that heavenly flow oozing from the trumpet of Miles Davis. Its urgent moan subtly stroking the emotions in your eardrums, ringing with shallow sighs of falsetto that echo across the quiet ocean of your soul. Until you've been kissed by the sweet lips of jazz music, you will never know the joy of having your ears caressed by the ivory keys of Thelonious Monk's piano. You will never experience the sheer brilliance of its spine-tingling chords racing up and down your center, titillating your chakras, compelling your soul to implode with the sweet sound of jazz music as newborn stars serendipitously sing their soulful soliloquies ever so buoyantly as they slowly descend from the mouth of the heavens until you've been kissed by the sweet lips of jazz music. You could never imagine the bliss of being brushed upon the lips by the wings of a butterfly secretly disguised as a warm and sensual breeze on a hot summer's night as you lazily lay upon your sofa, curled up in the arms of your lover, listening to the sultry sound of Coltrane sax, slowly seducing the burning incense, seemingly lost in the thrill of the moment as it twists and twirls through the air. like a dancing ballerina, causing your shadow to suddenly blush as a single ray of sunlight boldly struts half naked across the shadiest part of the room. In peace.
That's jazz, man. Like I say in a poem, one of my poems, jazz is a riff that walks me home. It's a bass line I climb to the top of the stairs. It's the hand reaching out when nobody's there. Jazz softly whispers, I know how you feel.
And Prince, listening to you, Prince, is like listening to music, really. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
I swear when I hear you, Brother Prince, it's like you have that voice, man. As soon as you get into spitting that spoken word, and I can hear you jump into a Marvin Gaye song, you know?
Well, you know what? My biggest influences are musicians.
Yeah.
You know, cats like Miles Davis and Coltrane and Bob Marley, and you know, this is where I get my rhythmic from. Is you know, because I'm always playing music in my head. You know, I used to write songs actually. You know, so I guess that's where it comes from.
That's great. That's great. Keep some music in the poetry. Poetry is a very musical tradition as well, both in syncopation and elocution, and then throwing right into, the melodic and rhythmic style. That's great. I got to say it's great because I do jazz poetry concerts, and I'm sure you do too, Prince.
No, I've never. It's something that I aspire to do.
Okay.
It's definitely something I aspire to do.
Well, I'll tell you what. Next time I'm in New York, I will contact you, and I will bring you together on the Lower East Side with a group of real talented jazz musicians, and you can step up and poem with them. Okay.
Wow, I would love that.
They'll dig it, man. They'll dig it. Okay. It's a bet.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay. All right. So now I'd like to move on to another part of the country. Let's take it about 1,200 miles westbound. I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come with Karen Scott. Hello, Karen.
Karen's in Columbus, Ohio. Stop driving. Turn around.
What do I know? I'm memory impaired.
Oh, let's see. Get the light so that these old eyes can see my own writing. Hami Dulik. I'm sorry you never got that motorcycle, the one I told you that you couldn't get until we had a child, that you were not going to leave me alone with no part of you to cherish. You snorted and said that was pretty heartless, that I just told you that you could wrap your motorcycle around a tree as long as I had a child of yours to love. Who knew you wouldn't see her 4th birthday? I'm sorry I never got to see you in a kilt. You were built for kilts, and I do love men in kilts. I wish I could have seen you practicing maneuvers with a claymore, your plaid moving in the wind. I'm sorry we never made it to Rhode Island, your birthplace, or met the relatives living there, that you never got to take me for a walk on the beach there at sunrise, or gather quahogs to share while we watch the waves advance and retreat. I'm sorry we never made it back to Baltimore to visit our old haunts, or back to New Orleans, a city we both visited but did not get to explore together. I'm sorry you did not get to see our child grow up, to enjoy the proud parenting moments, to see the person she has become. I'm sorry that you're not here now, that we were denied the privilege of growing old together. Would we still be in love, or would we be living separate lives after amicably drifting apart? I'm sorry we never got to find out. In peace.
Wow. Okay. Now that's a piece about love lost, love found and love lost. Wow.
I have a lot of those.
Do you relate to the song "Me and Bobby McGee"?
I've always liked it, but yeah, I'm not that far. Yeah, traveling along and losing love. So.
Okay, but you have another poem for us, I think.
Sure do. This next one is entitled Awakening. In that moment before full awakening, my mind allows me to believe I could call out a question and my mother would answer from the other room, or a yell to my daughter upstairs might get a response in return. The TV, tired of watching me sleep, has turned itself off. Maybe the quiet is what pulls me toward consciousness. The cat burbles a query as he stands on my hip, stretches, pats my face with his soft paw. My mind, now fully awake, reminds me that my mother resides in a facility on lockdown, 3 miles east. Even if we did live together, she would not be able to answer my call to her. My daughter is not upstairs, asleep after playing video games all night. She lives an hour away in a grown-up life of her own. I roll over slightly, glance at the clock, my constant source of grounding. I decide it's not too early for the dog to go out, whether he wants to or not. Indies.
All right, very good. And how old is is it your daughter you were saying?
My daughter's 26.
Oh, wow. You must have been a very young mother.
No, I'm an old mother.
No.
I delivered her in March, and then I turned 40 that year. So
really,
yeah, I'm older than I look.
Okay, well, you're looking good.
Thanks.
My pleasure. So, do you have a third one? Three's a charm from you, please.
I sure do. I made sure I picked them out. This one is called Monsters, and it has an epigraph from Eric Church and Jeff Hyde, the country songwriters. I've learned that the monsters ain't underneath the bed. 6-year-old found dead after disappearing from front yard. The headline validates my fears, justifies years of not allowing my daughter to play in our front yard, not allowing her to roam the neighborhood, only letting her play in the backyard if the dog or I were out there too. Every 40 seconds, a child goes missing somewhere in the US. I used to read King and Kuntz, revel in horror and suspense, but the day I became a mother, that came to an end. The first day I took my infant to a festival, I wondered later that night, how many psychopaths have I exposed my child to today? A true crime aficionado, I know that bright lights attract monsters more than a porch light attracts moths. Monsters do not understand the light, seek only to maim, defile, destroy the pure and innocent. And my daughter is a very bright light. Souls gravitate toward her like the dead gravitated to the little girl in Poltergeist. To be a mother is to have your heart forever walk around outside your body. We want to protect them from everything. Sometimes we can't protect them from anything. No matter how old they get, a monster is waiting.
Okay. To be a mother is to walk around with your heart outside.
That's an old saying. It's probably Yiddish.
Okay. I think it's universally true too.
Yes.
And it happens to fathers too. I used to be concerned about my son who used to try to be a bit bold and adventurous on street corners and places, on bicycles and skateboards. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And you are from Columbus, Ohio.
Yes.
All right. So next I would like to call a guy up from New Jersey, and I think I have this geography right now. And his name is Ron Bremer. Hello, Ron.
Hello, Mo. Hello, everybody. Before I start, I'd like to make a little announcement. I was lucky enough to have been interviewed by a magazine called The Poet, and I'll put the link into the chat if anybody wants to read the interview.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Prince. The first poem I'm going to do is called Melancholy Baby, and it's dedicated to Ella Fitzgerald, but also to a fellow named William Frawley, best known as Fred Mertz in I Love Lucy, because William Frawley was the first person to sing Melancholy Baby in public, and he did it back in 1912. So, Melancholy Baby, this autumn morning, the tiger lilies have deserted you, and the distant call of twilight fades on this grime-filled porch. My eyes strain to see what you call the lines in your frowning face. I don't see them. What is it that takes you far away from this life on this Tuesday of rain? You slingshot the missing answer at me. I see that the answer is no, but now I'm unsure of what the question was. Come to me, my melancholy baby, and I'll play Melancholy Baby on the piano and sing it for you all life long. So,
All right. Well, sing it, brother. Sing it all night long. All right. You have another one for us?
sure. Let me see. Bending new corners of a twisted history, relying on an ant's brain and an elephant's memory, I see us plotting a course through a land of no junctions, of disappearing hallucinations, of the soft sounds of some other planet, certainly not our Earth. If you want it, here it is, come and get it. But you better hurry, because it may not last. It's going faster than a Hollywood vampire's fangs. And some tomorrow, a finger snap in the length of history, one day it will be deader than the Wolf King of L.A. The Wolf King of L.A., by the way, is a fellow named John Phillips of the Mamas and Papas.
Oh, okay. All right. And do you have Three is a Charm, a poem for us?
Sure I do. I can find it. Oops. Let me see. I just have to go up a little bit. A blue velvet hurricane burst upon me while waiting in my car to enter the other side. It blew me into the intro to Joe Frank's Greenland, where a hamster on a piano played happy diaphanous tunes. Dissonant voices crossed a blood-red sea, singing Tammy Wynette's Stand By Your Man and D-I-V-O-R-C simultaneously, but asynchronously as they wandered purposely into dreamland. The voices diffidently helped me out the window of my car, which had been sequestered by the authorities of Greenland. The authorities wanted to be rid of me and my dissident ways. So I was able to coax the hamster with some Doritos I luckily kept in my pocket to leave its piano and join me in my exodus. Thus protected by my rodent friend, I felt fortified to take my chances against the hurricane and make my way back to the waiting line for the other side. And that's it.
And is your wife or your companion, is she still involved? Is she still in progress tonight writing her novel?
She's not writing her novel. She's fast asleep at the moment.
Okay, good enough. Good enough. We want it. We need to hear an excerpt from that work in progress when she's ready
Yeah,
to.
I'll try to get her. I know I can't get her today, but I'll try to get her next week.
Yeah, don't wake up your wife when she's sleeping.
No.
That's a cardinal. Do not do that. No. That's a nah. Okay, so now I'd like to bring us back to Paris and have come on our singer, songwriter, poet, Jean Ruda. Hello, Jean.
Unmute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here I am. Sound, lights, camera, action, sound. I'm gonna try and read this poem. Hope I can find it. That I rewrote today. I rewrote a poem today, and I gotta find it. Sorry. Maybe I'll sing a song first, then I'll find a poem. I'm going to dedicate this song to Mr. Christopher Sims because he wants to come to Paris and he thinks that, you know, the welcome wagon's going to be here. I can tell you right now, not so sure of that, buddy. But anyway. Can you hear that guitar okay in this, with this situation? Yeah. I'm walking in Paris all alone, wondering where my heart has blown, and I've been walking the streets on my own, without them feeling like a home. Hey Paris, I don't love you anymore. And when I wake up every morning, I feel I want to lay down and die. I want to cry for all the time that's passed me by. I'm not alone, just stuck in time. I'm a boy who wants to live, but I don't feel alive. I want to fight. I want to fucking shout. I want to be that person that I'm all about. But there's a fucking town, it's wearing me on out. I'm walking in Paris on my own, trampling evil streets, dirty stone, and all I used to call my own. It's full of hatred and of scorn. Hey Paris, I don't love you anymore. 'Cause when I tell you that I love you, you tell me that your door is shut. Though it's a lie passing by, see it's open to every goddamn nut. No, you're not a whore. See, life's a bore. Never had a clue what's in store. I wanna love, wanna reach a sphere above. I want everything that I've been dreaming of. But this fucking town, it's handed in my love. I'm walking in Paris all night long. Been trying to remember how it begun, and I've been walking these streets like I was young. No, I'm not. Humming with a lover's song. Hey Paris, I don't love you no more. I just want to laugh and hang about. I want to let my happy hair hang out. I want to shed this hard mask of anger and the doubt. Let it all come down. Fuck this fucking town. Give me everything you took that you knew was mine. Well, the only thing you can't give back is time.
Okay. Well, I guess you could say the old cliche, Gino, about Paris in your song, familiarity breeds contempt, even with Paris.
Beautiful song.
Now are you gonna read us your poem? That poem I want you to publish. Do you have that poem?
Oh, you mean my face the facts?
Facts
Thank you,
about
thank you,
face.
Mr. Rue.
Okay. Actually, that song I co-wrote with a poet here in Paris. Her name is Lisa Marie Jarlborn. She's an amazing illustrator and poetess, and she wrote that part of that song, and then we worked on it together and published it. Of course, I made it a man song. She wrote it as a female song.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So this is a poem I wrote in response to the really pathetic approach to, or let's call it the antithesis of censorship by allowing the provocative and violent comments of the President of the United States to be published on probably the largest social network platform in the world, just repulsive and repugnant. I wrote a poem about it called Facts About Face. In social books, fraud villain black faces, those mighty friends in high places, cool prez, hope sang d'amazing graces, fool pez, poontang pimps, craven naysez. Folks post the darndest things, twat tweet some other pings, and jacks check them and they ain't the facts. Gadzooks marked them all in whites and blacks. What's happened? Zins the traces of tear gas, riots, maces, when marchers trip on laces, lynch caused, paused, human races. From M's bondage, police, a license to kneel, a double-aught shot down to plowshares deal. General strike, mad dog submariner, new wavy seals, chief commander, bust under, military court appeals. So give me just the facts, my dear old mammy. Sway with funny and stay away from spammy. Dragnet some money, wonk your worldwide whammy. Loves your friends and hugs your family.
Okay, all right. Look out, we're bringing out the poet in you, Gino. All right, all right, that's good.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think I'm the last one to read in this round. So I have two things for you, and the first thing is an op-ed piece that I'm contributing to the blog of a television station. It's called France 24, France 24. I'm going to appear on their art show called Angora to talk about Angora Poets World Cafe. But they also have a blog, and they wish to see, because they saw I had some heavy opinions, they asked me to enter something on their blog, and here it is in progress. This might surprise you about Paris. It just might. We'll see. And the name of the piece in progress is called French Denial. Since the death of George Floyd and subsequent BLM protests across French cities, officials from government institutions and media have been quick and insistent to declare that France demonstrates no systemic racism and little person-to-person bigotry. These claims are far from true. During my 30 years residence in Paris and my travels throughout the country, I have witnessed explicit and implicit acts of racism and bigotries enacted daily. I have listened to numerous accounts from friends, neighbors, and colleagues, usually of the darker complexions, say the same. Racism inflicted upon blacks and Arabs and bigotry levied against whites of undesired Eastern European nations. To comprehend the breadth and scope of French prejudice, one needs to understand a century of commonly held attitudes cited in multi-stratified judgments. Are you native born? Are you white? What community are you from? What schools did you attend? Do you speak with an accent? Are you dressed properly here and now? Since the introduction of the internet 25 years ago, and with it exposure to the outside world, a large number of French youth have shed these biases, at least explicitly. One standout irony is the century-old reverence and veneration by French society, which it holds for African Americans. This irony, where they celebrate the music, the authors, and the political struggles against American racism, this irony because France has colonized and neo-colonized 13 Black African nations, along with 4 Arab majority nations in North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. French command is so dominant in Africa, it led former President Jacques Chirac to say in a press conference, quote, if France lost the revenues it extracts from Africa, our economy would go bankrupt. So what do I see? And what do I see today and yesterday? For years in the metro system, Blacks are stopped and frisked for no reason but for their complexion. A good number of Arabs as well. Whites too, but in smaller numbers, those from the working class districts. Police regularly pull over Black and brown motorists for no driving infractions whatsoever, and these are well documented. The years of unprovoked police violence upon Black and brown and poor residents in Paris and other cities. So as the French declare that there is no systemic racism and very little one-to-one bigotry exchanged, they might want to take a look and have an honest reflection on their checkered past. Okay. So, I'm sure they're going to love me on French television for that. It's a, like Mo was saying, expressing himself at the Smithsonian. We'll see if I get on the air after that's in progress. But that's what and essentially what I'm saying is that in France, one of the first suffragettes in the American suffragette movement was a Black woman from Massachusetts who was celebrated at the La Sorbonne in Paris in 1888. Okay, and Louis Armstrong drew what was declared an icon in trumpet, but while in the States he was hardly seen outside of race records. Ray Charles drew over 50,000 people in the rain in Paris for an outdoor concert. So you see, and at the same time, they still have depictions of what we call Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima images on posters and photographs that they think is just cultural relics. So it's an interesting society. Okay, there we go. Now, because of going to a Black Lives Matter rally yesterday in Paris, I want to read something from the States that I've read before that kind of reflects what's going on today, and it's called Blue Manhattan, and it goes, beneath the blue Manhattan sky, Sunday noon I hear the cry, ornate figures congregate around the drum they bump and shake, samba, bossa nova, rumba, mama sing, baby dance, salsa, cha-cha, mambo over Central Park is in a trance. Beneath the blue Manhattan sky, Yonder cop, a suspicious eye. Refugees, an endless stream. Short on cash, big on dreams. Cops chase kids and kids chase dreams. Bankers smile and sirens scream. Somebody asks, what's all this English mean? Immigration papers got a kid to wean. Tenements tune the noisy pitch. Buses bark, the L train hiss against the thunder of the street. Harmonic canta El Caribe. Salsa, bossa, nova, rumba. Uncles sing and auntie dance. Salsa, cha-cha, mambo over. Central Park is in a trance. Beneath the blue Manhattan sky, the segregated wonder why. When exiles share the song and sun, when black and brown and white are one in hunger, one in pain, one in struggle, El Norte rain, sugar labor, sugar love, conga get another rub. Samba, salsa, bossa nova, hoodoo sing and hoodoo dance, salsa, cha-cha, mambo over. Central Park is in a trance. Day wears thin and night comes on. Home to barrio, children yawn. One more guava, one last rum. Hasta samba conga drum. Return on Sunday, gather noon. Shake in sugar rhythm tune. Hear the laughter of the sky beneath a blue Manhattan sky. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we've gone through the first round. And so why don't we take a few minutes break here and chat and check in, and we'll come on with the second round, and everybody is invited to participate in the second round. Okay. So.
Hey, Jack, how did the release go, bro?
You talking to me?
Yes, sir. How did the movie release go?
What was the question?
The movie that you were in that was released, I believe, this weekend.
Oh yes, yeah. And you saw it?
You know what, man? I had a super busy day. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I want to hear from you.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry you didn't. Yeah. I'm sorry you didn't. It was. It's very entertaining.
Isn't there a link?
There was, but the people who made it, I mean, it was only available temporarily. There was a preview or a premiere last Monday night, and then it was on Vimeo for 2 days.
Why? Because on Vimeo for 2 days, because you have to pay for Vimeo time?
No, it's because they want to submit it to film festivals, and film festivals there are limits on its exposure in order to qualify. So it was only available for those 2 days, which is, and I'm sorry you missed it then, because on Vimeo it was real, the quality was really good. Whereas the premiere on YouTube, the sound was not that good, but it was really sharp on Vimeo.
Well, I'm kind of bummed because I was sent the link and I thought I can just go back to it, you know, because I was like crazy busy and I really wanted to enjoy it, you know. So now you're telling me that it's gone. Okay, yeah. I guess I'll just have to catch it when they put it in the movies.
Well, yes. I mean, of course, you can catch it in Cannes next. When is that? Next spring?
The Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was great. It was a lot of fun to make. Great to be in, and I'm happy to have contributed some of the writing to it, and of course being in it. So it was good, There's enough footage, I'm told, left to make 5 more 30-minute films that will continue the
awesome.
story of Cold Hearts, the game at which you are likely to lose your soul. I speak from experience. I lost mine. So.
Can you act out some of one of your scenes, like a short snippet or something?
Not really, no.
Because on a Zoom screen, I got to say, on a Zoom screen, it might not. Yeah. It might not look as good as it did.
I can only say that I created a character because, well, I mean, I should say in the course of the audition, I was called on to improvise a character, which I did. I created someone named Tristan Dexter. Who then proceeds to, at one point, to tell his story or at least to attempt to tell his story to the players who are not paying any attention whatsoever, in which he explains that he has that he was born to privilege and best schools and best clothes and so forth, and how he had dedicated himself to the pursuit of angels, which consisted of words, women, and song, and then had fallen by degrees from hot to cold, and then finally ended in New York, which was a sort of wormhole for him. And so then with that, the concept of a wormhole is introduced to the story.
Okay, well, at the risk of giving too much away, there you are, listeners. Be sure to, Jack will keep us posted on when this thing appears, wherever it's going to appear again, at film festivals or wherever you're going to put it again.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tremendous amount of work for Bruce and Rufo.
Okay.
Bruce was the director and editor, and I mean they worked on it together, those two.
Yeah, group project.
But there's a music video that goes with it, which you can actually see on YouTube. If you go to Cold Hearts, a Poetical on YouTube, you can actually find scenes. Actually, you might actually be able to see a scene in which I'm in. And I highly recommend the video, which is fantastic.
Well, you should.
Jack, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I just want to say I want to move the conversation over a little bit with some other things happening with people here presently, which is to say, more and more people who have been participating in the Angora Zoom have been using our connections to publish in other places. And tonight, Benedicta can't be with us, Benedicta from Ghana, because she got put on work shift this evening. But for those of you who have heard her, she's been publishing in 4 sources that we've sent her links to in the last 10 days, and she's very happy about that. I'll let her speak for herself next week, but she did express that, and I'm proud to hear what she said. She said through Angora Poets Zoom, she's been able to get out of her small space in small town Ghana and get out into the world. And she's very, very happy about that, to get into the world. And then I've sent some links, And then Mo, who's our co-host, Mohammed, reads occasionally. But in fact, he's asked me to review some of his writing, and I find it very, very good. Both his poetry, his rap poetry and his prose. So send him some links, and now he's getting himself out there further beyond the present places he publishes and participates. And that's real good. And then we have Mr. Singer Songwriter Poet Gene Ruda, who I've recommended to a couple places, including a site that's published me presently and will publish me again. It's jerryjazzmusic.com. And I got in touch with Joe at Jerry Jazz and said, you got to read Gene's poem and consider putting that out there in the Jerry Jazz Music page. So it's good that we
Thank
can
you
spread.
so
And then
much,
people,
Abel.
well, you earned it. You know, and the thing is that's what we do. We give connections to one another. And, you know, and a lot of people have been posting with Bunny over at Poets Unplugged. So just letting you know that people are getting out there. Some of whom I'm glad to say got out there as a result of our contacts. So it's good that Angora Poets can lead, you know, some contacts to people. And so there's enough about that. I'm happy to report it.
Yeah, Mo, it's, you know, I'm glad to have been a poet and spoken word artist for most of my adult life. So I've been able to feature all across the country. I mean, most of the big cities I've performed in, I believe, at least the major ones. And then when you rack up those appearances, those connections or networks, you're able to share that and pass that on to other folk. And that's what I've been able to do, man. And I don't know, I'm all about saying, and sometimes I get requests that I can't make, or people say, Christopher, who else can we reach out to? And I say, here, this person, that person. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man, if we're going to continue to make our art and rise.
It is indeed. All right. And about this Zoom stuff, man, I'm doing a Zoom in New York, and I appear on that Zoom at 3 o'clock in the morning, Paris time. Ooh. And later tonight, I'm on a Zoom in Pittsburgh, PA, and I participate at that at 2 o'clock in the morning. Ooh. 'Cause these are American Zooms, and I'm over here, you know. So, you know, this something. We're going to be doing some coffee tonight. I'll tell you that. We're going to be drinking some coffee tonight. But I'm going to do it because, yeah, my gigs in the States were canceled for the pandemic reasons. And so I didn't anticipate that I'd be able to appear in some things by way of Zoom. So I'm right there with you, Christopher, on that.
Yeah, I have a feature coming up with the Museum of the African Diaspora in San Francisco, and that's a huge honor. I just saw Jessica Care-Moore on that platform a few weeks ago. So yeah, features like that help keep your name out there and help you keep and helps keep you on top of your game too.
You know, with this pandemic and with this police violence across the globe, frankly, that was centered out of Minneapolis this time, poets continue to play a major role more and more. They may not be on CBS News, but we certainly are being heard all over the planet, and no longer, oh, that's just poetry. People now take to poetry and jazz like poetry, respect, jazz, respect.
Just a quick plug. I myself will be featuring at what is it? Open mic Paris open mic. July 20th. Yeah, July 20th. I'll be the feature for.
Well, good for you. Good for you. All right. Glad to hear that. Okay, maybe now with that good news, it's been a night of good news, we can return to it. We can begin a second round of poetry. Would that be all right? We all ready to do a second round?
All right.
Show our medals right now. Huh? I see your finger, Dalila. What's up?
I would like to read the poem I wrote.
Oh.
I'm very shy, you know that.
Yeah. Okay, well, please read your poem. And is it which language?
French.
Okay, give us a brief description of the poem.
It is called, I called it communication. It's just that the idea is that sometimes you meet people and you get into communication right away, fast. This is what I wrote. Communication, moment très précieux d'échanges uniques, rencontre inattendue, croisement miraculeux, propulsion, tourbillon d'images, tout surgit, bouge, se bouscule. Paroles d'idées, d'émotions, tristesse et sourire, vie partagée, présente et passée, histoire de construction reconstruite, fragments racontés, dit et redit. Une personne suffit à créer un tel miracle de transformation. Sensation de renouveau, impression d'être redéfinie encore et encore. Résilience, restructuration, addition de fragments épars. Reconnaissance, validation, route, force, énergie. I hope you understood it.
Ruth, force, énergie, précieux, un moment précieux, mon ami. Voilà. That was very good. Very good. Okay. All right. Then okay. Let's see. Who to pick on next? Let's see. How about you, Isabel Lorien? Isabel?
Isabel.
Okay. So it's a poem I wrote. I was with Harvest, Monty, and Pom, and we were in Cornwall. Pretty women are dancing under the full moon by the lake where the night is drowning. The noises of the war are getting closer. California is burning. How can we dance when our beds are burning? In South America, people are walking, running away from Honduras and Venezuela, running away from their home countries in order to survive. There is a new exodus. They try to reach America. Trump and its administration are pointing guns at them. I'm so fed up with the USA imperialism and capitalism. Everywhere in the world, governments are raising walls against the migrants, trying to reach what they believe an El Dorado. We're all brothers. We're all humans. Valuable people are aware. A seagull stands on a lonely rock. He's lonely. Looking at the Atlantic Ocean, he worries. Listen to the silence of the animals. So many of them disappear. In the dream of our memories, we will talk to our grandchildren about the forest full of the songs of the birds in the morning when the sun rises. When I was a child, plastic killing sea life. Oceans are full of plastic bags. Beaches are covered with plastic. Work for the sake of the planet in alert climax demonstrations. Valuable people are aware. All over the world, there is so much disorder and suffering. The boat of the loving spirit is coming to us through a stormy night. Peace and love. Let's shake hands over the ocean. Let's get united to fight for a better world. Listen to the sound of the gong, the vibrations of the Tibetan bowls. Pretty women are dancing under the full moon. The mirage of the night is drowning in the lake. A shaman is singing in the Amazonian jungle for the monkeys who jump from tree to tree and gather around him to preserve and protect wildlife. The art, music, and dance of the old civilizations are offered in spectacle to the mass tourism. The Uyghur for the Chinese, the Mongolian and the Polynesian for the Westerners, emptied from their meaning and substance, turned into a masquerade of dying spirits. Valuable people are aware. The woman below is hungry. The woman below is angry. We will soar above the troubled river like eagles in a clear sky.
Okay. Thank you, Isabel.
Beautiful, Isabel.
Writing and reciting in her second language, by the way. Thank you very much. And now I see on the screen that Cosmic and Palm are still with us. Now, Cosmic, do you want to, if you're not set up to do your gong music, your chime music, would you like to simply recite some of your poetry?
What did she say? What does she mean?
You want to say another one?
I've got an H poem.
Where is it? In your head?
I've got it somewhere.
Okay.
She might not be ready now, but we'll see.
Well, you know what? I can call on her in 5 minutes or 10 minutes if you like.
Okay. Okay. I think it's a song she wrote. Okay.
Mom?
It's a poem. Okay. Okay. So 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, Mom.
Okay, we'll do that. You're on in 5. Miss Cosmic, on in 5. On in 5. Okay. Good enough.
Okay, she heard it.
Oh, she has it. Okay. Well,
You got it? No. Sorry. Wrong alert.
okay. Shall we wait? Should we give her 5 minutes? Is that it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay. Let's return now to Christopher Sims in Rockford, Illinois. Hello, Christopher.
Hello. Hola, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Yes. I took French in college. I know a little bit now.
Yeah, you should learn French.
Yes. Oui.
Oui, bien sûr.
This is another one of those poems that I've been reciting for years. And if I think of any poem that they say you're not supposed to like, I have a favorite poem or that kind of thing, but I totally disagree with that. This is probably my favorite poem because when I wrote it, I fell in love with words on a deeper level. When I become fused, settled into your wordplay, the most beautiful things serenade my soul. I feel like an innocent child gleefully discovering the certainties of living carefree. Automatically, I want to cuddle under your grammatical chemistry and let it comfort, caress, consume, and console me. I want to lay next to your devastating diction and let it breathe softly on my neck and whisper sweet things and smile about it in my dreams. I want to smile when I hear your spoken word harmony, charming me, disarming the strength I possess, and let each and every word baptize my being and cleanse my soul like water. Because your words are windsoft aloft the clouds, sweet, genuine amidst the sunshine, clever daffodils that cast spells at will. And through them, I see the science of hieroglyphics, discover all things important and intricate. Make love to my mind, you word warrior, syllable soldier, lyrical enforcer. Transform me with traditional griotic telepathy. Feed me the vital, venomous vocabulary that I need to proceed. And that's that piece.
Well, feed me another poem, if you please.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna follow Prince's lead and do a jazz piece. I saw a woman on stage on a picture on the internet one time, and this poem just shot out of me maybe 5 minutes later. Jazz be dripping from her tongue like staccato renditions of Coltrane melodies. Heavily concoctions of curing charisma melts from her melodic tongue. She be warm with words, wonderful and with wisdom and enchantments. I feel a fiery enhancement when she speaks to my soul like sultry jazz beats. Her speech personifies passion. When she opens her mouth, you hear Miles Davis, Mr. Miles Davis, images of jazz clubs. They conquer your spirit. Soul sister be slick, hip. I get high off her hues of various verbal voodoo. Off her tongue, music slides, takes you on rides of rhythmic fantasies. She makes you bear your spirit without even having to ask you. Her sweet sensations are honeydew drenched, hot and intense. Makes me flinch. I want to explore her every inch, then pinch myself to make sure that it is real. I want to reveal to her my fears, my secrets, my passions, my hopes, just to get a quick shot of her dopeness. I want to elope with Miss because she's Sarah Vaughan reincarnate. Her jazz gibberish is like black licorice, and I want to melt it and drink it like water. Nessie, thanks.
Bottoms up.
Wow. Nice to hear the pulse of jazz ringing through the poems and the themes. That's nice, you know. Okay, so how about you, Mr. Miss? I see we have Cosmic is back. Are you back with us, Cosmic?
Yes.
Yes. You want to read us a poem, Cosmic? Okay.
I made it when I was 7, and it's kind of I stapled it to make a book.
Okay. So, all right. You made your own book?
Yes. It has one song and some pictures, but I'm not going to sing the song today.
Okay, well, our loss.
When I was 1, life had just begun. When I was 2, I was nearly new. When I was 3, I was almost me. When I was 4, I was so much more. But when I was 5, my life took a dive. And when I was 6, my only toys were sticks. Now I am 7, I am in heaven. So,
yeah. So beautiful.
When you were now, I have to ask you, Cosmic, when you were 5, my life took a dive. Jesus, you must have been doing a lot of living, little girl. Did you get sick? Did you get ill at 5?
Knew about that.
Yeah. Yes, when I was 5, I knew that I had a problem with my ear.
Okay.
So I was deaf.
One side.
Okay. All right. And when your mother and her companion, when they ring the gongs, can you feel the vibrations?
Yes.
Because I know that deaf people go to dances. Now you only have one ear loss. I have been to deaf dances where they turn up the bass very, very strong and they feel the vibration of the song and they sing to the vibration of they dance to the vibration of the bass. Yeah. Okay, do you have another poem for us?
Yes, you could say it's a poem, but it's from one of my diaries. I have 2 diaries.
Okay.
Nothing else I'm going to say about my diaries. First, it's called First Day of Homeschool. Homeschool Day. It was surprisingly clever and smart because they had a timetable or to keep track. They drew in assembly what they were saying, and we got to do our own assembly. Wow, what next? It was very, 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 very fun. I hope you enjoy everything because that part of your life. Thank you.
Okay, so now you can say good night, everyone, and maybe see you on Sunday.
See you on Sunday. Was it Thursday?
Good night, Harvest. Wonderful.
Good night.
Betty.
Good night.
Betty.
Good night.
She will
Good
be
night for me.
caustic.
Your girls
Be
will
caustic.
caustic.
Good night.
Good night.
Bisous,
Good night,
chérie.
everyone.
Bisous, chérie. Bisous. Bonsoir.
Bonne soirée. Yes. Bonne nuit.
Okay. All right. Sleep well. Okay. Great. How about that? Our youngest poet at this point. Wow. Okay. So now let's go over to Ron Bremer. Hello, Ron. Can we hear from you?
Sure. I don't know how I can follow that though. Let's see if I can find this piece.
Children and pets.
Yeah, they win over everybody's heart.
Yeah.
Okay, you were talking about Jerry Jazz, musician before, and this poem actually was in Jerry Jazz. I have to thank Joe Maida for that.
Love Joe Maida.
Oh, he's great. This is called Autumn Leaves. A 4-year-old boy runs, screaming. The walls of railroad rooms in the Jersey City apartment built circa 1910 shudder and shake with his bellowing. Ah! Autumn leaves! He screeches in terror, thinking that the autumn leaves are coming for him. The boy was me. The lovely melody Autumn Leaves was playing on my parents' Victrola. Every time I heard those descending piano notes played by Roger Williams and the collapsing lilt, the horror struck me, and my fear was inconsolable. And I ran wildly in futile hope of escape. I suppose I had heard of the atom bomb, and my 4-year-old brain married atom bombs to autumn leaves in those crazy 1950s. What do little children fear today? I don't know, but perhaps it is just as horrific as the thought of autumn leaves falling on a small boy's head. I like to think not. I like to think we've advanced from those Cold War days. Perhaps, perhaps not. That's it.
Wow, that is, yeah. Okay, do you have another one for? Do you have another one for us?
Not with me, so I'll just listen.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Very good. I want to call on, okay, Juliana. Are you there, Juliana? Juliana. Maybe she stepped out. Okay. Yeah, I think she might have stepped out. Okay, so moving along on the screen next, may I call on Karen Scott from Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep listening. I don't have anything else tonight.
Okay, very good. Okay. So let's see. The next, can we hear again from Prince McNally?
All righty. Okay. This piece is called The Ghost of Martyrs. When I came into this world, I didn't come quietly, for as the pediatrician violently pulled me headfirst from the universe of my mother's womb, that first breath of air caused my lungs to burn and tremble. I cried in 17 syllables of haiku. Now, mind you, I wasn't crying because I was afraid, hungry, or disoriented. None of that baby stuff. I was merely announcing my arrival. I was putting the world on notice that I was here. I am here to be that dissident voice, that voice of change. I was sent here to be, you see, I was born to be a poet, a rebel-rousing radical who proudly wears the heart of a revolutionary upon his sleeves. Through the language of poetry, I speak tirelessly for the voiceless, utilize my voice so they could be heard and eventually seen by the masses. With my every opportunity, I challenge the powers that be who had threatened to kill me if I spoke too loudly. And so I whispered, go ahead and kill me, for I'll speak even louder when I'm gone. For poets never truly die. Our single purpose upon this earth is to live eternally in the hearts and minds of our readers. So even when we die, we'll remain alive in spirit. And whenever our persecutors think of us, they will hear the trembling echoes of our words, haunting the halls of their souls like the ghost of martyrs. In peace.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was saying, I'm sorry, I was muted. Do you have one to follow?
See. Okay, this one seems appropriate. Revolution occurs when? A revolution occurs when our anger no longer succumbs to our fears, when the people are prepared to suffer or die for a cause much larger than themselves, when our cries can no longer be muffled or silenced by the threats and false promises. A revolution occurs when the soul of our conscience compels us to air our displeasure in defiance of the law, the government, and the powers that be. When the people's anger and frustration can no longer be contained in the realms of human decency. A revolution will occur when the 99% have finally had enough of the 1% controlling their destiny, taking it to the streets and social media in order to be heard, in order to be seen. Blacks, whites, Hispanics, Indigenous, and Asians. A revolution will occur when our collective voices become so loud they'll shatter the glass ceilings of oppression, crumbling the deterring walls of ignorance, of hatred, of racism and bigotry. For only then will they be forced to acknowledge all people's rights to exist. Only then will they look into the eyes in our eyes and recognize the soul of our determination. Let us place our disenchantment upon naked sheets of paper, our rage-inspired ink splattered across virgin lines never crossed before. A revolution will occur when we, the people, grow tired of paying our taxes and funding their wars. In third world countries we have no business being involved in, if not for these countries being countries of poor people of color. Our primary agenda is to colonize and conquer, thereby taking control of its natural resources. When we deny blind allegiance to a colonialist regime that doesn't truly value its citizens but merely sees them as expendable pawns and government slaves, a revolution will occur when the audacity of hope hurriedly rushes through our veins with a most intrepid adrenaline, when we, the poets, the voice of the people, stand united upon our soapboxes and our podiums, declaring war against all evil wherever it may stand, shooting it down with the scathing bullets of our words rapidly descending from the mouths of our pens. A revolution will occur when apathy ends.
When will the revolution arrive? People were talking about this for the last 2 weeks since the murder in Minneapolis on a global plan, a global trend. Wow. Okay. Maybe now it's time to call our singer-songwriter poet up. Call back again, Mr. Gene Ruda. Hello, Gene.
Here I am. Okay. Start video. There we go. Alrighty. So I found this poem that I am working on. Some poems just keep going. So maybe some of you who know about France and know about Paris know that we went through 20 weeks of demonstrations, simultaneous weekends of demonstrations here prior to the lockdown. And we seem to be in the United States and totally enervated and starting to get active and demonstrate. And so I revisited a short story I wrote and made it into a spoken word. And it's called Neon Gods, or Neo Gods. And it starts with a little song, just a little part of the song. Yeah, hang on a second. There it is, okay. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. We marched, we sang Bella Ciao, 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 a sound of silence, our solitary demo, a yellow journaled vest, a comedy in acts of 3. The chorus sang Hup, 2, 3, 4, till Act 5. We, at l'Opera, in the audience, street theater of the absurd, bore witness to the Romaniacal farce. Monsieur Président, le Satiriconi, his austere red shield bent Bank King Macroni. He raised it high, en marche, new rules, the carbon dated cash on ice. He lost his cool. Day turned gray as the cloud curtained sun descended, and the rush hour headlights backlit the slanted silver streaks of ceaseless rain. The dispersed, roving, and riotous, black, hoodwinked, and yellow invested tinkers and tailors, they was held accountable for unpaid loans and for the cherry blood street stones. They, the medically gas masked, surly, lighter skinned militants, and running, suit sported, gangly, darker skinned, matterless, uniformly pugnacious eyes of hate and rage, now right up in my neutral, countercultured, mindfully masked and centered, detached face. Me, a guitar-backed slinger, a splash-stepping, mindful music man singer in black, middle wading through the cold-soaked deluge, winding round blinking blue blockades to my hatha yoga class, gig and seance, happenstanced in that scenic, now chaotic quartier. Pushed aside, pinned down, trampled, sneered at by gaggles of begoggled, helmeted hooligans, hurling cobblestones and throwback tear gas canisters. Overrun, pushed aside, asunder by baton-wielding shield shovers, chucker chasers in slick black and blue armor, shouting, "Putain, merde!" Less like a popular protest, a push, or even a police state suppressional,
more like a bee-swarmy, tribal, muddy water melee of mortals, amassed and pitted against one another in a winter gray piss and shit shower, gaped at by Christmas grift, groping, guru-guided audience group tours, social media story shooters, and shoulder camera shouldered, credentialed, pressed, and mired in the middle of a tear-inducing fart fog of unfriendly fire. A paranormal militant myth performed live, locally, acted out, televised, in virtual reality, fluorescent avatars, stiffed, amusedly, observed on high by glowing global thinker gods, those long gone, silent striker sods.
Well, now there's a point of view, Mr. Gene. There's a definite point of view.
Gene.
Sometimes a poet just gotta pitch a bitch. All right. I tell you what, it's funny because the world at large, when they come across any of us online or in person, and we say, "Where do you live?" I live in Paris. I think you'll all agree that people go, "Ooh, Paris! I want to be in Paris," and we do. We do because you can't live in a city, but a lot of people think it's all ooh la la, and like any major city in the world, it's got its ups and downs. That's all. It's not a disclaimer on Paris. It's just Paris is out there with its ups and downs like any major city. I remind people of that when they say, "Oh, I want to come to Paris and live there forever." Okay, but you still pay taxes. Okay, so I think we have a. Have we heard from you yet, Bill Strangmeyer?
No, not yet.
Let's hear from you, Bill Strangmeyer.
Okay. Okay, just one thing about Paris. When the French say ooh la la, they don't usually say ooh la la, they usually say ooh la la. Means something different in French.
Ooh la la, puta merde.
This is called Down in Love Downtown. I won that poor man's love I sought, that sorry dream of teenage summer nights all filled with ladders to the tower light, a religion set against the morality we owed, and then I loved the dim-lit sawdust bar, the heads hung down, the American night, long aimless rides in broke-down cars, a rage with music, with syrup in the belly fraught. What was that feeling in my gut that gnawed and sang with bitter joy? I never knew relief from sin, but there I held both crime and glee, bowled up in acid like a boy, my stomach bad and missing cool ease, but never again was tragedy so free, and the musty wish so far from the din of idiots force-feeding American dream to the willfully lost and the hungry for gin.
Okay. Here's one from the judge. All right, Judge.
I have one more. If you
okay.
Let's see. Okay, start with a quote from my favorite Sicilian poet, Leonardo Sciascia. Il silenzio è vorace sulle cose, e mutare il nulla in parole. Silence is voracious for things, to change nothingness into words. Words of the prophet. We do not care for the coming storm, for we are immortal. Our lives as spoiled children are sacred to God, our protector. The ways of our people are nothing to me, for I would be rich. What has been lost are merely the wages of growth and my right, and I will talk for hours just to teach you who I am and why. The voices never wane, nor do they lower, nor ever cut off short. The sky spreads pink and blue and orange, oil black at times, and we, ambitious for that sky, will fill it full of our long jokes. The colors now are ours, and we the gestures who brought down the kings. So here is how we'll lay the law atop your sheepish grins. The east and west will now be up and down, both flat, and all you think you know is turned and crushed to dust. The liturgy is banned, and pop songs now shall smirk our hymns. Your dreams shall now be made to feed my golden reveries, and you shall listen as I fill to the top the void I see and hate with all my script. But now for me, the grumbler. Today on the metro I spied a young maiden all wrapped in natty rags, thin gold ring, smart in her nose. Sunburst mussed hair and a full-lipped smile to light up the dullest train. Curling on to the boy she loved, he moving slowly, not by tactic, but from shyness, he presenting technique, she the spark, both intoxicated by their joy, just like in the old days when I still could fall. Our ere cherubing was yoked and whipped and bound to copyright. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Bill, thank you. And I think now it's time. Let's see who's we can hear again from Jack Cooper. Hello, Jack.
All right. This is Tuesday is Bloomsday, the day when we celebrate the day in which the events of Ulysses, the James Joyce novel, takes place. And this poem is called Trieste, Zurich, Paris, New York, 2012. Some trouble on the line. Agreeing to call back. I did. She picked up. We, all she said. I repeated after. C'est ce que je désire. Whispered. Et moi aussi, declared. Lovely, even fabulous, really. Like Molly Bloom, I would get my breakfast in bed.
Well, all right. Okay. I hope I don't get arrested Tuesday night. I'm co-hosting Bloomsday Paris event with a woman who was on our screen last couple of weeks, Maria Darcy. So we will have readers, singers, and dancers. And while we are not allowed to have, and Jean Ruda is there with us.
I'll be there, Mo.
And
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Okay. See that? It's growing. So, and we did it last year, if you all remember.
Sure.
And had a great day in front of Shakespeare and Company. The point is, what I'm saying is we're going to do it where legally we're only supposed to have 10 people in any one space, but we're going to perform to people in the street and declare to the fleets, to the police, well, they're just passing by. We'll see how that goes, see how that goes. So all hail to Bloomsday. Okay. Let's see. Did we cover everybody on the screen? Yes, we did. Maybe I can read you a poem. Can I read you a poem? Read you a poem.
Yes, indeed.
This here book here. That's me. That's me. There it is. Looks like me, doesn't it? Doesn't that look like me? Come on, that looks like me.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that's me, huh?
Excellent. I recognize the cigarette.
What a gorgeous face this guy has. I tell you, honey, he could stop a bus in traffic. All right, here we go.
Yeah, where's the cap, though? Where's the cap?
Different caps, different days. Okay. Now, this is called Severed Limbs. Simple folk of sole ownership, muddy cheeks, knee deep in turf, allowed a stranger come among them and hurl their Celtic gods upon the rocks. This, their fall from grace, became martyrs and slaves to Mary and the boy, awaiting Patrick's promise. Imposing civilization, the Great Britons cast a dark shadow from a long English cross, impaling the best, lessers plowed under, leaving behind hammers and nails, ourselves, the price of original sin. Who counts tears and laughter, gait a step uneven, jigs in saloons, tunes out of key, boasting of something to call ourselves, reaching behind in search of severed limbs, old sod, bare seeds, uprooted, scattered lies, wonder the ways, why the poems get done, why the songs are sung, why the banshees scream. Yeah, okay.
Very nice.
Oh, thank you very much. Let's see if I have another one in here. Now that, give me a second here. I might have another one here. I haven't read in a while. Maybe not. Here's one. This was just a rant, and I think you'll know why. It's called Big White Lie. Take your big white lie from its deep, dark black hole in the pit of your round, empty, acid stomach stole, and cut it, baby, cut it loose. Bring it outside, and take it back inside. Now tap the undulating rhythms at their roots. Get you a taste for cornbread, lap it up pan-fried, white like red hot jazz blue. Come on, existentialist. It's more than just you, more than just you. Try shooby-dooby-dooby-doo, just you. Yeah, step on the downbeat. Yeah, welcome home, son. Okay. So that's my contribution for the second round. Oh, now look who I see here. I tell you, I would be Juliana. You're back with us.
Yeah, actually, yes. It went dark, and I just put the light on. Do you want me to read the other Turkish poems?
Oh, well, yes, dear. I want you to read. What do you have? 3 of them? Do you know?
Yeah, there's 3. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
You're on, Juliana. You're going to close us out in homage to Turkey. All right.
I think I fell asleep, actually. How long? We're in the second round. How long's it been going on?
No, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, honey. This is round 4.
Hang on, I'll get my book. Just a minute.
She'll get her book. All right, right. Goodness. So, okay, Penny, how have you been? What's your take on this evening of poetry? Yeah.
Demute.
Unmute. Penny. Yeah. Did we give you any ideas or any images? I'm curious. We get images from music and from painting and dance. Do you get images to paint with or draw with from poetry?
My second language, I think, I think visually, and so I have a real affinity for poetry. I do write poetry. I'm not really quite ready to share it yet, but I'm working on that. But I love the imagery. I'm getting imagery from everybody. I'm taking notes, and the alliteration, of the carbon dated cash. I mean, who doesn't get imagery from this poetry?
All right, good for you. Good for you. And like I said, now you are invited to show your work on screen in the big Hollywood square here, so we can appreciate it, because other people have done it and we have appreciated it. Okay.
I would love that, and I will do that next time. Absolutely.
All right.
But I want to just mention that I do have a little space of which is, of course, is visual. It's all on Zoom right now, but I also work with visual, auditory, and literary artists, and We have a poetry open mic and a song circle, and we're working on how to work in some of the visual. But one of the things that I had really planned to work on this year was to really expand those circles, you know, outside of just the region that I live in. And so I think the pandemic has really opened that up for a lot of us to connect with each other. So anybody who wants to sort of contact me, and I'll send you information.
Okay, good. Tell the other good folks in Kansas City on both sides of the bridge what we're doing.
It's okay to share what you're doing?
Sure. In fact, when I was going to say, when people who are reading in other Zooms, feel free to put a word in for Angora poets. We don't mind a good word coming in, you know. Okay. So now we're going to turn this over to Juliana, who's going to read us some poems in homage to Turkey.
That's right. Well, it's from the rest of the book. There's another 3. So back to the color blue.
Oh, you're going to blue us some more.
I'm going to blow it. Yeah, I'm going to blow it.
Blow me, baby. Go ahead.
The
All right.
blue of Nazar.
All right.
Nazar blue, the inspiration of the renowned artist Yves Klein, the hue of international Klein blue, painted naked ladies blue in 1960 in Paris in the name of art. Electric blue, the coloring of lightning, the color of Nazar. The blue of Nazar abounds, the magic of Turkey, on doors, on walls, on steps, on chairs, on dog collars, on cat collars, my cat's got one, on jewelry to protect the souls of loved ones, human or animal. One is walking on Nazar, embedded on the ground. One cannot escape the ever-watching eye.
Okay.
And then the next one, Turkish delight. Lokum, full of promise, rose water, exotic nights, minarets silhouetted, Ottoman Empire, Suleiman the Magnificent, Kanuni Sultan Suleiman, 1520 to 1566, past glory, influences today. Ottoman Empire, Greece, Egypt, the Balkans, Macedonia, Albania, Cyprus, Persia. Turkish delight forever. And the final one is called Bliss, number 3. Bliss is rocking back and forth in a colorful swing. Bliss is listening to Cuban Comandante. Bliss is gazing at the dazzling white mosque in the sunshine, sipping detox chilled fruit and vegetable juice. Bliss is watching kediler slinking by, ginger, black and white, tortoise and tequila. Bliss is Kedilandia. Kedi is cat in Turkish. Bliss is seeing clear blue waters contrasted with sparkling white architecture reflecting bright light. Bliss is sunshine and warmth. Bliss is smelling the aroma of jasmine in a bache, touching pink Begonville. plucking flowers for my hair. Bliss is savoring tasty, aromatic Ottoman dishes, listening to strains of Kabak Kamane. Bliss is the turquoise coast, sea turtles, boats and islands, never enduring horizons, the clear, clean, rippling turquoise Mediterranean, stretching to sunken Kekova and the blue beyond. Bliss is Ottoman. Bliss is Constantinople. Bliss is Salonika. Bliss is ancient civilization. Bliss is the Lycian way. Bliss is colorful, quality, textures and textiles from Anatolia and the East. Istanbul, Izmir, Antalya, Bursa, Black Sea, Safranbolu. Bliss is returning to magical Turkey. Thank you.
Wow, and I hope you get a return visit, Juliana. Very
Well,
nice.
I haven't been since 2018.
Okay. Well, one thing that's going on there is a spoken word Istanbul that features poets, a majority of whom present in English, and that's hosted by our good friend Merv. He's the host there. It's Spoken Word Istanbul, and it's quite a lively scene. And you might want to know there's a generation gap going on in Turkey, and it's not all just bliss. What is going on on the ground is that there has been 2 generations at least that want to reform and modernize the culture, and they are in conflict with the conservatives who want to reach back to the Ottoman Empire because they're empire minded. Not always bliss in the empire mind, I'm sorry to say. Just ask a lot of dead Eastern Europeans. Anyway, there's this great explosion in the arts and in philosophy and in culture going on primarily in Istanbul, and they're struggling against the whims of the often conservative and dictatorial government and their conservative neighbors. So there's quite a thing going on in Istanbul, and from the producers of new ideas and new manifestations.
Plus, a government body that does not admit the atrocities of its against the Armenians.
Exactly.
Yeah, because in fairness, Turkey has jailed more journalists than any country in the world.
Yeah.
I'm sure Egypt low-key counters that. I'm sorry. I'm willing to contend with that. I am so willing to contend with that.
You're
So
right,
willing.
Mohammed.
I will take you
You're
on.
right, Mohammed.
I will take you on.
Well, then I can stand corrected. That was me. Part. Yeah, that's wild. It's a very ancient place, though. Turkey. You're certainly, Juliana, you're certainly right about that. Especially going to the old Istanbul on one side of the river there. It's very nice. Okay, so Mo, you're back with us. How you doing, Mo?
I've been here throughout the show. I was just working. I'm working. But I've enjoyed listening to everyone performing, and yeah, it was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
The jazz poetry, hands down. All of it. All of it.
Okay. Yeah. Props for jazz poetry. Good. So, and I mentioned earlier that your poems can go get published to some of our links, and they'll be glad to put up some of your poems, Mohammed. That'll be good.
Yes, sir.
That'll be real good. And in case you have one lingering for us now, you can be last call if you wish.
I'll do an old one out of memory, but that I've done a couple of times, just to end the show. No.
Good idea.
Step right up and Take the escalator right up and pay right up front to measure up to the new digital trend. 23 megapixels for your latrine selfies. Waste your New Year's resolution savings on a resolution that Instagram couldn't use anyways. And take pictures of your kitchen fixtures and your dental dentures and call it photography. Kind of like repeating rhyming redundant lines and calling it poetry. Add 33 vignettes and filters to filter your self-esteem issues as if you needed digital signatures to call you beautiful. God damn it, beautiful. It's a phone. All I need is your number to call you. It is amazing how technology's evolved beyond ourselves. It is amazing how we've evolved beyond our pride. We've cast it aside, called ourselves prisoners to mundane lives, and mourned that our own hands have grown comfortable to change. And I wish they were made of metal. At least they would rattle. At least you could see them. But no, they exist beyond the periodic table. They're called insecurities. They make you gasp in the pool of your own ego, gasping, I. Well, there's an I in altruism, so pull your own damn weight. You want to write a prose? Knock on irony's door and watch it pummel down your writer's block with poetry. You will find backstabbers preaching brotherhood, guys quantifying manhood with the amount of lays they've got. You will find girls screaming feminism, shaming the reputation of stay-at-home mothers who are simply trying to raise worthier others, like a boy and how he ought to become a man, or a girl and how she ought to champion feminism. And by the way, I refuse to use the word feminazi. There is nothing feminine about a dictator named Hitler. Let me repeat that again. There is nothing feminine about a dictator named Hitler. And that is the end.
Well, I think that kind of wraps up the sentiment for all of us. That was a good going-on poem, huh? You kind of spoke in various ways to different things we said all evening.
Hey, Mo, I have a question for you.
Go right ahead.
Mo, is your language, original speaking language as a child, English?
Arabic.
So, is one of your parents American or something?
No,
How did you?
No, there is nothing. The only thing that is American about me is a visit visa on my Egyptian passport. My father married an American lady just towards the end of my teenage years, and he moved to South Carolina. He lived there for 14 years. He became naturalized eventually before he passed away. And, I was consistently visiting him while he was in the United States. So that pretty much wraps up my...
Well, it's hard for me to imagine, but it's pretty incredible. And when you rap like you do, and you're using idiomatic expressions, all kinds of things going on there, not to mention accent, I have to say, quite impressed. And you got quite a mind there, Mohammed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you people.
Okay. I did post earlier, I don't know if it's still on the conversation. I'm reading in French. All my controls are in French here. On what's it? Conversation, I guess it means in English. I put the website, the Angora Poets website on there, and I put Angora Poets YouTube name on there, and our Facebook name on there. So, and that's what I do. So, if you wish to hear yourselves in a day or two when we get this recording up on YouTube, feel free. And if you wish to check in with what we're doing, our Angora Poets Facebook page has a lot of interesting stuff on it. And the website, me and Mo are just filling that website up. It's going to be nice because a lot of nice people are on it. That's why it's going to be nice.
You are nice.
Well, it's a nice to be nice. It's a nice to be nice. Nice and nice and nice.
Is.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we've come to the end of a reading evening. Now, as for myself, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm on a large Zoom platform, so I'm going to hang around. That's just my personal biz for later. So anyway, I'll leave the screen on. I mean, I'll leave this up, right, Mo?
Yeah, I just made you a host because I'm gonna get going.
Okay.
Okay,
Jesus.
so that